I'm good. How about you, Paris?
I am wonderful. Thank you for joining me for our Let's Talk IBO Business session. We do these every month, the third
Mhm.
Wednesday of every month. And today we are talking about taxes as an IBO with your IBO and your agents. So I'm super excited. It's tax time. IRS, we all, have a little fear when it comes to the IRS. So I'm super excited to have you here to answer the questions for our IBOs, or if we have any agents in here as well. So I'm gonna let you guys know the format of this. Pia is going to give us all of her wonderful information, and then we'll do a Q&A at the end. So just type your Q&A, your questions in the chat, and we will start answering them at the end of the presentation. Pia can answer the general tax questions that you may have now. If you need more specific questions answered to your business, she actually has an IBO special that is at a price that you can't beat, where you can have a 30-minute session with her to go over your tax stuff. And to kind of answer business specific questions. So we'll get into that later. But thank you guys for tuning in. Don't forget you could type your questions in the chat, and I am gonna hand it over to you, Pia. I got my notebook. Hold on. Let me get my notebook. My favorite notebook to write notes in. 'Cause I know you're about to give us some great information. So
Well, I'm gonna try my best. All right. So thank you again, Miss Paris, for having me on to speak with the IBOs today. My name is Pia Hill. I am the owner of PTax and Accounting, but I'm also an IBO myself. So I'm very familiar with the process of being an IBO, especially as it pertains to taxes. So we're going to talk about a few things today that might be helpful to you in your business, especially as you know, if you're a new IBO or if you're existing IBO, some of this information you may know, and some of it you may not know. But hopefully, whatever information I provide to you, it will be helpful to you. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and get started with my PowerPoint, and we're going to go from there. Just give me 1 second. And let me know if you see my screen. It should show loading right now. I don't know if you can hear me. Or, I don't know if you'll be able to respond to me or not, Paris, to let me know if you see the screen.
yes, I can see your screen. IBO
Okay.
Tax Talk. You are good
All
to go.
right.
Everybody
Good.
in the chat.
All right.
One more time. I'm sorry. Before you start, we just had a bunch of other people come in. You
Okay.
guys type your questions in the chat box, and we will get to your questions at the end of the presentation. But I am documenting them as you're typing them, so type all the questions you have in the chat box. All right. Sorry, Pia.
Oh, no problem. Go ahead. Okay, so this is going to be IBO talk, tax talk for the 20. Well, it's the actual 2021 tax season, but it's the 22. Well, tax year, but it's the 2022 tax season. And so I want, like I said, I want to share some things with you this year that may affect your business and it may not. But let's just go ahead and get into it. So let's talk about the Form 1099 NEC. The Form 1099 NEC is a form to report self-employment income for self-employed individuals. So when someone receives more than $600 in non-employee compensation, they will receive the Form 1099 NEC from the business or vendor, or in your case, if you are an IBO, you will be responsible to provide all of your agents that made at least $600 or more. You will be required to provide them a 1099 NEC for tax reporting purposes. All right. So the due dates for the Form 1099 NEC, the deadline is January 31st, 2022 for both paper and electronic submissions. All right. So, like I say, just to kind of reiterate, if you are IBO and you have virtual agents, or even if you have any other side businesses going on as well, any non-employees, people that's independent contractors, you would provide them the 1099 NEC to report their income to IRS. They will need to report this income on their tax return as well. It was something I was just going to say, but I kind of lost what my train of thought. And just so and I'm going to put it out there. I just got over COVID, so sometimes I have the COVID brain fog every once in a while. So every once in a while, I kind of might forget something, but I'm just kind of telling you I'm just giving you a heads up on it. But for the most part, like I say, that's the main thing, is that IBOs, you are responsible as a business owner to submit these 1099 NECs to any of your agents. And I say the deadline is January 31st, 2022 for both paper and electronic submissions. All right.
And can we kind of
Uh-huh.
touch on, and maybe this might be where you were going with it, their method of delivery to their agents? If you did not get a written authorization from your agents to submit their 1099s to them electronically, then you have to mail it to them. But if you got your form together or typed up your stuff to have it delivered to them electronically, whether that's via secure portal, because it does have to be a secure method, then you can deliver it to them in the method that you guys signed up and agreed upon. If you have an agent portal, like for instance, Auto IBO, you can upload those into the portal for your agents, and there's plenty of others you can do it on as well. Or if you have a secure method of email, you can do that, but you have to have them sign that form consenting to delivery pretty much over the internet.
Absolutely. That is, and thank you for that, Paris. That is a law that is that's been constructed by IRS. And then not only that, if you do have your own portal that you're submitting your 1099 NECs to your agents through, you can also make it password protected to add on another layer of security, so that only your agent is has the ability to be able to access your 1099 NEC. All right. So let's speak about the components of the Form 1099 NEC. There's three parts of the Form 1099 NEC. You have what is called the Copy A, and that's for the Internal Revenue Service. This is a red copy, and this copy itself is a scannable document. So if you plan on completing the 1099 NECs manually, um, you can't go on the IRS website and just print a copy of the Copy A. That will not be acceptable. It will not be accepted by the IRS because of the way that they have their system set up. So you literally have to go on the IRS website and order the form from them, and give yourself some mailing time, because they do have to mail it to you. And then after that, that's the forms you will actually complete manually. And those are the ones that you're going to actually submit to IRS. And once we finish this piece, or even after, probably towards the end, I'm going to show you guys the what the 1099 NEC looks like if you've never seen it. Okay. The next copy is copy one, and that's for the state tax department. And this is the portion that's actually reported to the state for any employees that, any contractors that you may have employee compensation for. But in most cases, generally, you usually don't have this for your states. It's usually just for federal income only. But each state is different, so you need to know the laws for each state to know if you need to submit it for the state, for that particular state. But overall, most of the time it's just for the federal. All right. And then you have, and that copy one for the State Department is actually reported to the state. So you actually go ahead and submit that documentation to them. Now, some states, even though that compensation is taxable to the IRS or to the feds, the state still wants to see that documentation on their side. Okay. And that's something that you want to discuss with your tax preparer. Then we have what copy B for the recipient. The recipient is your independent contractor or your agents. You will actually, submit a copy of copy B to the agents. And again, those is for any independent contractors or virtual assistants or virtual agents that you had that received $600 or more of non-employee compensation. You're going to send them the copy B. So again, let me reiterate, copy A is a copy that goes to IRS because basically IRS wants to see how much money um, that you reported for this particular individual, your agents. And then copy, and then not only that, what they do is they compare. So when you submit the copy B for your recipient or for your agent, when your agent goes and actually prepare their tax return, IRS is going to look in their system. They're going to see this copy A in their system and your copy B to make sure that the information matches. When it matches, then after that, they can go ahead and continue to process the tax return. All right, so there's a couple of ways that you can actually file the 1099 NEC, and you have what is called the manual filing. So like I just told you before, if you decide to do this manually and then not electronically, you have to first go ahead and order a copy of the actual 1099 NEC from IRS, and then you can, handwrite the information and you can mail your 1099 NEC documents, you know, in i.e. the copy A to IRS. And then you would actually, if you have to, submit to the State Department, you would mail that one in, and then that copy B you would actually mail to your agents. All right. Then you also have the electronic filing system. This is the way that IRS they really would prefer their information, the 1099 NECs, to be sent electronically, just for it because it's more efficient, it's much faster. They can get the information much faster in the system and processed, opposed to basically what they call snail mail. It takes longer for things to be processed through snail mail, opposed to if you do it electronically, then when it's time for the agent, or even for yourself, to file your tax returns, then after that, they already got everything in the system. And sometimes, like lately, they've been actually holding tax returns, waiting on certain documentation to come in to make sure it's verified. Okay. So, like I say, electronic filing is more the preferred way to submit your 1099 NECs. So, it's a couple of ways you can do it. You can actually go on the IRS website. They have the IRS filing information returns electronically, such as Fire. You can submit them that way, or you could use third-party companies. One of those companies is my company, which is PTax and Accounting. We actually prepare 1099 NECs for our clients, and we also we send them out electronically to the IRS. We submit them electronically to the IRS, and we will actually submit them on your behalf, as long as you have the documentation that you need for the electronic, sending everything electronically to your clients. We will actually send the NEC to your clients on your behalf. All right. And then you get a copy of all the documentation for your records. All right. And then another third party company, and I just kind of threw this one out there just in case if you wanted to try to do this on your own, which is tax1099.com. Now, just keep in mind, if you're doing these forms on your own, you're going to have to know how to do them. So I do recommend that you try to read the instructions. There's always instructions for any forms that IRS have, or that they, anything that they offer, they always have the instructions, so you can read up on them. Or like I say, if you don't want to go through all of that, just contact us over at PTax and Accounting. We'll be more than happy to assist you with the process. Okay, so that takes care of the piece of the 1099 NEC. All right. So now let's get into tax planning. So the one thing we have to do, regardless if we're business owners or if we're, preparing our taxes individually, you have to be ready for tax planning. So there's just general information that you need to get started. And then after that, you need more specific information as you actually sit down with your tax specialist in order to get your taxes prepared. But to get started with your tax planning, you need your general information. So that's like your business name, your address, your EIN, which is your employee identification number. For your business, you would need to know your business entity type. And a lot of people do not know that. Just over the years, me preparing taxes, I've been doing preparing taxes for over 30 years. And a lot of people do not know their business entity. Your business entities are like your if you're a sole proprietorship, if you're an LLC, which is a limited liability corporation, or if you're an S corp, or if you're a C corp. In this business, you really don't have a lot of people that C corps. But then again, I do remember that Arise did require at some point that the people could be a S corp or a C corp. So even in that case, you need to know what your business entity is in order for the tax return to be filed correctly for your business. If you go and have a business tax return prepared, and it's prepared incorrectly and it's past the deadline, IRS doesn't care about the fact that you submitted the tax return by mistake. They still gonna penalize you, okay, for late filing because that tax return was filed incorrectly. So you got to make sure that you know your business entity. A lot of times you can find your business entity on the form SS4, which is your form that you got when you set up your EIN. A lot of times it says in the body of that form, it'll tell you what your business entity is. But if you're really not sure, you can always contact the business support. What is it? The business specialty tax line through IRS, and they will tell you what your business entity is so that you can make sure that whoever is preparing your tax return, and I suggest that, being that you're dealing with corporations, that you're only having people that are experts in preparing complex tax returns and business returns, not people just that know how to do Schedule Cs and things like that. You want someone that really knows what they're doing because you're dealing with next level tax returns. And so you got to make sure that your information is correct so that you're prepared, your business tax preparer could be able to prepare your tax return correctly. Some businesses work off of the fiscal year and calendar year, so you got to make sure that you know which way that your business is operating. Okay, so that's just some of the general information that you need to know and have everything prepared for the preparer. The next thing is your income. So that's all income that's coming in from the business. So, we're speaking about the IBO business. So you want all of your income that's coming in. In most cases, you're going to see a 1099 that you're going to receive actually from Arise. That is your business income that you received. Okay. So that's going to have to be reported on your tax return because remember, just like how we just spoke about, when you submit your 1099 NEC for your agents and IRS gets a copy of that copy A so that they can be able to match your records. It's the same thing. Arise going to send their 1099 NEC to you. And then after that, you're going to get a copy of it just as well. IRS going to get a copy of it just as well. And they're going to be looking on your business tax return for that income. Okay. So you make sure that you include that income. Also, you're going to have your IBO administrative fees. So you have IBOs who actually charge an admin fee. Everyone has their different names for it, but they charge that administrative fee for those people who are their agents. They might, charge them $25 or $40, $50, whatever that is income that's coming into your business. So in that case, you have to make sure that you have record of all of the fees that you collect from your agents so that you can be able to, you're going to have to report this income on your tax return, your business tax return. Now, we also have deductions. So I just put a few of them out here just so that you can see there's much more that you can actually write off. But you have your taxes and licenses. That's people who, some people, since they're working from home, they're They actually have, home-based licenses that they actually have to purchase from the county or the city in their area. So you can write those things off. You can write off different taxes that you might have to write off, for your locality, wherever you live. You can write that off. You can write off any advertising that you have paid for when you're trying to get new agents and everything else. Or you just advertising your IBO, you can write that off. Certifications, if you as an IBO decided to go ahead and pick up a client and you paid for the certification, you can write that off. Any bank charges, like some banks actually charge you a fee for having a business account, you can write that off. You have your contract labor. Your contract labor is that from those 1099 NECs. That's all of your agents. The income that they brought in, you can actually write that off on your taxes, because if you don't do that, then you're going to have to carry their money. And then after that, you're going to have to pay taxes on their money. And you don't want to do that. So this gives you the opportunity to be able to write that off and deduct it from your business, so you don't have to carry the money that they receive. Okay. So there's a lot of IBOs who do events where they're, doing, that's their ability to be able to get, again, new agents and things like that. You can write that off. And then the one thing that is new this year is mileage. The mileage has gone up to 58.5 cents per mile. So say, for instance, it's a situation where you're going back and forth to these events. You can write off that mileage, for your business. And so that's something that you can get into. You can speak more about that in regards to mileage and the breakdown of your deductions and income and things of that nature from whoever your business, tax preparer will be. And then just down here at the bottom, you want to make sure that all you have good record keeping. You're going to have to, need your bank statements in some cases, and then any other tax documentation that may come through for your business, because everyone's business is different. So everyone may have other tax documentation. Some people, even though they have the IBO business, they actually have other businesses that's included with their IBO business. So they'll have other tax documentation as well. So just make sure that if you don't have anything else, you have this is kind of give you an idea of the general basis of some of the things that's needed in tax planning. So I hope that makes sense. All right. And then we have our tax filing date. So you have your tax filing deadlines. All right. Now, the tax filing deadlines are different depending on what type of business entity you have. Remember, we talked about that earlier. So if you have a sole proprietorship and the LLC, your tax filing deadline is April 15th, 2022. However, you could file an extension if you need to. It's a 6-month extension. So that means that you could be able to, file like 6 months later. Now you have, if you have an S corporation, that tax return is due really soon. So March 15th, that tax return is due. And if you need more time to file, you can actually, again, do a 6-month extension on your S corp as well. And then I just decided to kind of add this in here, even though we're dealing, we're only really talking about business, but I wanted to add in the individual piece. So, if you're doing an individual tax return, again, April 15th is the deadline. You could file an extension. You got to do this, anytime you want to file extensions, you got to do that with your tax preparer. And just so you know, for this particular tax year, the tax filing date is actually January 24th, 2022. So that means that even if you want to start doing your taxes early, you can, depending on who you go through, unless you guys decide that you want to come through us here at PTax and Accounting, you can start getting your documents together and everything so that, your information can possibly get in the system by January 24th. And, and you can go ahead and get your tax return submitted. Now, I do want to stress that this particular year, and this goes for everybody across the board. Okay. And even if you decide that you want to go through someone else to get your taxes done or whatever, they're going to love me for telling you this. IRS has made it very clear that this is going to be the one of the first years that they had the longest processing time to process tax returns. So they're saying that it can take up to 20 days for them to actually process your tax return. So, a lot of people, usually your tax return can be processed in a couple of days. Not this year. IRS has an extreme backlog. They're doing audits left and right. Not only that, they don't have enough staff. I was told that they were looking for funding. Not sure about that, so don't hold me on that. But the bottom line is that they are so behind that people who filed tax returns last year, they're still getting their refunds from people. Like, people filed tax returns maybe like January, February of last year. These people are still just now getting their tax refunds from last year. So that's how behind they are. So what you want to do is you want to make sure that you get all of your documents together and you get everything set up and ready so that you can go ahead and submit your tax returns, so that you don't have to wait. You're going to have to wait because everybody's going to have to wait, but maybe you may not have to wait as long. But the longer you put it off, the longer you're going to have to wait. So I just want to put that out there. Now, um, here at PTax and Accounting, we offer many services, but just so that you can see a few of the services that we do offer is tax planning. We actually help businesses, IBO businesses do tax planning. We actually help with bookkeeping and accounting. We even do classes and courses for bookkeeping and accounting as well. We do business setup, so we can help you properly structure your business if it's not already properly structured. And then also we do tax preparation for individuals and business. We also have a opportunity for IBOs, because the one service that we do have is we're a tax service bureau. So by us being a tax service bureau, we have the opportunity to provide tax services to anyone who wants to start a tax business. And we have the software, we do mentorship, we provide tax training and all kind of little different things that you get from it. And then it also gives you the ability to have an extra source of income. So this is something that you can actually set up as an IBO, and you can actually have your agents work as tax preparers. I mean, you can't beat that. If you have your agents, do work as the tax preparer for you, then you could just, operate the business. So that is a opportunity for any IBOs that might be interested. And even though I know tax season is about to start, but at the same time, we can help you through the process, because, like I say, IRS is behind anyway. So we can actually just help you through the process for this. You just getting everybody set up, and then we can kind of do like a fast track setup so that you can go ahead and get your tax business started, and you can get out there and start getting you some tax clients. And like I say, you can actually have your agents do the tax preparation for you. All right.
That is,
And
go ahead. I was going to say, let's pause really quick and knock out
yeah.
the questions and then finish the last part of it.
Okay.
So I told you guys I don't want to spill the beans of the great IBO special before the end. So we are gonna I did, as I told you guys in the beginning, to put your questions in chat, and I'm going to start at the top. So the top is going back to the 1099 NEC, in which we had a question of what secure methods can be used to send the 1099 NEC. Can you submit them via email?
Are you saying, if they're saying, can you submit them through email? You only can submit the 1099 NEC through email as long as you have the form completed. I can't remember the name of the form, but it's a form that you need to complete that IRS requires. And then as long as you have your the agent's signature on there, and they're giving you authorization to send that information over. You could send it through email, but me personally, I wouldn't send it through email unless I put an extra layer of security on there, and that means that you want to make it password protected. But to be honest with you, you can do something like Dropbox, or something. You can set up. Dropbox is free. You can get a free Dropbox account, and you can put passwords on the 1099 NECs that way. And the person who gets that link is the only one who has access to that 1099 NEC.
And
So
so,
hopefully that helps. Mhm.
yes, and one thing that we did, so before we created Auto IBO CRM, that's how we do it now. But before that, we used to use our e-signature Adobe sign. And once we got the permission signed, and if you're in masterclass or even have the document bundle, that form that you can get signed, that you have to get signed, is in both of those. You could just take it, send it to your agents. But we would use Adobe sign because you could password protect what you sent them. And we would attach the form that they would sign on there, verifying that they received their 1099s, and then attach the 1099 to it and send it to them that way, password protected. You could do it in all the e-signatures have the password protection capability. So that was just kind of an easier way that we did it. That was not necessarily via email. It was more secure.
Yes.
And if you're already paying for one of the e-signatures, you can do it. I said, that's
You
just
might as well take advantage of it. Right.
Yeah. The next question is, Jonathan asked, the 1099 NEC state submission forms, do they submit those to the state of the contractor or to the state that they're in business?
The state of the contractor.
Okay, so if your contractor is servicing out of Louisiana, then they would need to submit that to the state of Louisiana?
Yes.
Okay. That was pretty clear enough, I think. And let Jonathan, if you have any other question on that, you could type it in as well.
But like I say, in most cases, they don't really even have to submit that to that particular state, but they can always check. But overall, in most cases, the 1099, the 1099 NECs is more of a federal form. But like I say, certain states do require that you submit that form to them, just so that they can have it for reporting situations.
Yes, and Tax 1099 is really great. Pia has one of the best firms with PTax and accounting. If you're using a payroll like Square, Gusto, Intuit, there's Gig Wage, there's several of them. A lot of them go through and they do those for you as well. So if you're already paying for one of those services, a lot of them will prepare, and some of them will send them, some of them will not. You just kind of have to check, but a lot of them will prepare and submit it for you. If you're not, or if you're unsure, like I said, Pia is going to give you guys the special at the end where you can talk to her and clear all of that up in a great 30-minute session. So Jonathan, you said you're going to be using Pia services anyway.
Well, thank you, Jonathan. I appreciate it.
We're all trying to always, trying to save $1 here and there to do things yourself doesn't always pay off in the end. And you have to remember, where to put your money, where it would be most useful. And IRS taxes, anything dealing with, is definitely somewhere you want to hire someone in if you're not proficient in it. And most of us are not. Arise. So I did get a question on Arise's the 1099. So Arise will send you a 1099. They'll send you one in the mail, but they'll also be in your portal, your Arise portal. They'll send it to you at the very last crack of dawn minute. The deadline is on the 31st. You'll get it somewhere probably between the 28th and the 30th. Via mail or in the portal. So you do not have to wait for the form you get from Arise to submit your agents, because regardless of when Arise gives us ours, your deadline does not change for your agents. It is January 31st. You should have records and documents of who you paid and what you paid out to them. Whether you had a payroll, if you didn't have a pay service, you should have an Excel sheet that you're marking down every pay period.
Or in your bank statements, however you distributed, however you distributed that money to those agents, you should have some form of record keeping, showing exactly who you paid, and you should be able to use that information right there to go ahead and submit those 1099 NECs to your agents.
So you should be
And then
doing
let
that
me
right now.
Yeah, and then I want to say this also, for a lot of you, and I know just as from my own experience, sometimes what happens is with Arise, they will provide you with the 1099, and when you go into the portal, you click the PDF. Sometimes you can't get, the format for some reason. I don't know why they've been doing
It's
this
not
for years.
open.
It will not open. You can always contact partner support and just let them know you're unable to access that PDF, and they will actually go ahead and email you a copy of that 1099 NEC. So don't stress out and don't freak out if you're unable to access it. Just contact partner support. And then, like I say, just let them know you're unable to access that form and go ahead and get it. Don't let that be the reason why you cannot do what you need to do with your business. Okay. I had, because I've been preparing taxes for IBOs for years, and I've had many IBOs that will go ahead and they'll send me that same little link from IRS, and I can't even open it. I mean, not IRS, but from Arise. I can't open it. And then here they go trying to scramble to get this form so that we can go ahead and submit their tax return. So I'm just giving you guys a heads up right now. If you can't access it, go straight to partner support, ask them to get it to you. Okay,
The
go ahead,
other thing
Karen.
is the 1099s that Arise gives you. I found a couple years it fluctuated on whether it included the fees that they deducted from you or not. That's another thing that, and when I find out, I'll post it in the group. You need to find out, because that makes a huge difference in your numbers,
It
and
sure
the
does.
way that you're filing. So when you get your 1099, which you should have records of your stuff anyway, but you want to make sure it matches. Because if not, that's a good way to kick off an audit or other things, just with that little discrepancy. And you can contact Arise and have it fixed if it's not correct. But definitely do make sure that those numbers are matching, and you understand whether the 1099 they're giving you is including the fees they took out or if it's not. The next question is, if you're an LLC but it's under an S corp, does that mean the deadline is March 15th?
Yeah, if the primary entity, business entity, is an S corp, then March 15th is the date. Just because it ends with a LL, just because you have the LLC at the end of the business name, does not mean that your business is a limited liability corporation. It all depends on how you have it filed with IRS. You can have an LLC and then turn around and get the let's see, here go my mind. You can
The
get
SOC for
girl, say it. I'm sorry, I can't
because
say
I have,
you.
that's how, because actually, and
Yeah,
Arise actually still requires that. A lot of people don't do it, but if you're a recruiting IBO, you're supposed to be, if you're an LLC, you're supposed to file that extra
it's cool.
40, what is it, 4423 or whatever,
It's the 25. Here we go. It's the
2552. It's one of
2553,
those.
and
Yeah,
basically what it is it's your
or
way to be able to
SOC
get
for.
the approval to become an S corp with IRS. So
Yeah.
then, in that case, as long as you've been approved with IRS and they gave you the approval for the 2553, and any other time I could tell you the name of that form, I use it all the time. But as long as you got that approval, then you go ahead and file that tax return as an S corp. But if you never received that approval from IRS, then you are not an S corp. So then in that case, you would just file as a regular, as sole proprietor or LLC. But like I say, if you don't know what your business entity is, you need to contact IRS, because however they have it in their system is the way they're looking for you to report it. Okay. And I do want to make this one statement, and thank you, Olivia, for bringing this to my attention. The tax filing deadline for this year for individuals and sole proprietorships is April 18th, Monday, April 18th, and not the 15th. So thank you for that correction.
And as far as the deductions and those things that you can do, don't forget about courses. And I tell people all the time, like courses that you take throughout the year. If you took master class, I know Kaniqua has courses. I'm trying to think off the top of my head. okay, I can't remember anyone else, but if you took any 30-day classes, master class, if you did consulting with legal teams, your sessions with Pia, if you had
Mhm.
your legal shield, if you have that, those are all things that are able to be expensed out or written off for your business. So throughout the year, when you're educating yourself to grow your business, keep your receipts. If you do one-on-one consulting, make sure you get a receipt, because that stuff on your taxes can be written off. One more question. It may be crazy to ask, but how do you file your business separate from you? So I'm not sure, because it just says
I
Facebook
would,
user on here.
you know
But go
what,
ahead.
I would, that's gonna be on a one-on-one situation, because that's a general question, but I would need to ask other questions to find out exactly, which direction that's going in. So that's more of a one-on-one question, not so much general, if that makes
Yeah,
sense.
depending on your if like your S or C corp or what you are, like TurboTax and all of them do have business software, but I would not recommend you. I mean, it's a walkthrough, yes, and it's good, but even with the knowledge that I have with taxes, I pay out for somebody to do it, because when you start dealing with business taxes, filing separate together, it's a whole nother ballpark. Not to mention people who like Pia, who have been doing this, know the deductions you can take. They can save you money. They can get you back more money. If you're getting back money, or if you have to pay money, they can cut costs, because they know things we don't. But
Right.
they do
And
have
and
software that will allow you to file business taxes.
yeah, but see, the only thing about that, and this is what I tell people all the time, especially, like I say, you make a mistake with IRS, you cannot come back and say, well, I didn't know. Or I use this tax software and the tax software guided me through, and this is what it says. What you must understand is when it come down to taxes, you must understand tax law.
Here.
So you can read a question, you and I could look at the same question on tax software and we're going to interpret it different. The reason why is because I know the tax law and you don't. So then now you're um opening up things for interpretation, and it's not based on your interpretation. IRS don't care about your interpretation. They know, look, this is the law, this is the way it works, and this is what we're looking for. So what you want to do is you want to keep yourself out of a situation where you're audited. Once you start getting audited with IRS, then what starts to happen, they start to hone in on you, and they will watch you for a couple of years until they feel like all of a sudden now you're in the clear. So we'll go ahead and let you go. But every year they will hone in on your tax return. They will pull your tax return and check every bit of it to see if they have to audit you again. They can also, that one audit can also trigger for them to start going and looking in all your past tax returns to see if there's any other things in there that you missed or you messed up on. And then after that, they can keep going back. There is no limit of time where they say, after 10 years, they can't go back. No, they can keep on going back to you first filed a tax return. So that's why it's very important that when it comes down to taxes, I don't care if it's an individual tax return or if it's a business tax return. If you do not understand taxes, I personally, and I'm not saying this because I have my own a tax business or anything like that. I'm just telling you what I know. I do not recommend you taking a chance preparing tax returns, especially business returns, and you don't know what you're doing and you don't know the tax law. Because, like I say, this can end up becoming a burden for you later because you wanted to take, you didn't want to take the time out to have someone that had the experience to be able to go through and prepare your tax return for you the way that it should be prepared, opposed to, you just saving a few dollars. So I'm just putting that
Yeah.
out there.
And I know our time is winding down, you guys, because we are keeping these sessions shorter than our normal, but I do want to, I'll get the last few questions. If you have any more, type them in chat. If our next question is, if we take the admin fees out, the money Arise gives us, would our IBO admin fee amount be included in the 1099 Arise gives?
So, okay, so I want to make sure I'm clear. So basically what you have to look at is when you're receiving the monies from Arise, then that's all of the money that Arise has distributed to your business. All right. So then what happens is whatever fee that you're taking out of that distribution that you got from Arise, that's considered income for you. Arise doesn't have anything to do with whatever setup you have with your your agents. So what you could do is, like I say, whatever that money is, whatever that administrative fee is, you have to still include that as income on your side. You can't write that, you're not going to be able to write that off or anything like that. And like I say, anything that you have on the side with your agent, does Arise doesn't care anything about that. So I'm hoping I'm answering your question.
So I think, and let me because I think she may be asking, and because I kind of get it, but I'm kind of like, I think you answered it. If when you're filing the taxes and Arise gives you the 1099 for say $30,000, and you have sent your 1099 NECs and those come out to $25,000, that $5,000 difference that's already there from the what Arise shows to what you show that you've paid out, would that include the admin fees? Would that just kind of be the income
Well, yeah, that would be her admin fees
without you
because that's the
trying to add
difference.
anything
Yeah,
more?
that's the difference
Yeah.
between what she actually um dispersed out to her agents, and then that's what she still has left. So you got to remember that money that you have left has to go somewhere. And in this
Yeah.
case, it would be considered income.
Let's see. So Miss Beck, Desire, you may have to do a one-on-one with her because, and I can kind of answer this one for you. It says, do we include the EIDL grants? Well, the EIDL was the loan, right? Unless you got the grant portion, and then the PPP was the grant in our business taxes. That would depend on how you distribute the
Mhm.
funds and what you use them
And
for.
what your setup is, and then if you were was it forgiven? What part of it was forgiven, if any was forgiven? That's going to be a one-on-one consultation. That's
Yeah,
not going to be nothing generalized.
because that's going to be very specific to what you designated the funds to
Us
and those
too,
sorts of things.
and
Because if it was,
how you actually spent them.
yeah, because if it was used for your payroll versus your rent payment for, like, it depends on all of that. So that I think
Right.
you do really good with the one-on-one. Um, and I've had several IBOs ask, so I'll just go ahead and answer that one about them being able to have someone to send their agents to do taxes. So Pia actually has a program, you guys, that she partners with IBOs, and you can make money using her services with your IBOs, as well as included as a perk for your IBO. So she gives your I'm sorry, I keep saying IBOs, agents. Nobody
I
corrected
was
me.
scared that I was going
Agents.
IBO,
Yeah,
IRS. So yeah,
sorry.
yeah.
Your agent. So she get not only does she give your agent a special price for you being their IBO, but there's also some extra incentive for you as well for sending them over.
Hmm.
So that would definitely be a great collaboration to have, and a perk that you could, use in your company. Hey, we already have a tax professional at tax time to do your taxes, and then you'll make some money off of it. They'll get a discount for going to Pia, and you have a perk added to your company. So she does offer that service, and I think you are actually about to get into that now. I think we've gotten all the questions. If not, is this being recorded? This is a live stream, so you can catch this, the recording version of it, on YouTube or at Arise to the Top. It'll probably be in the Facebook group too, since it's streaming there. So yes, you will be able to rewatch this if you need to. So Pia, I want you to let them know all of the awesome things that you have for them, you guys. Pia has a 30-minute session to answer the kind of questions like Desara and a few of you guys had that were very specific to your business, or to kind of help you navigate and get set up correctly. So, and she has very special pricing for you guys being here today or for you watching. So Pia, tell us what you got, girl.
Okay. All right, thank you. So yeah, just for IBOs and whoever's watching today, I have my one-on-one consultations, and the consultations are very detail specific to your business. So, if you have general questions, that's fine, but this will be strictly in regards to your business. So I am offering a 30-minute business tax and or accounting consulting session for $45 for that 30 minutes. And like I say, we will specifically speak about your business. We can go in so many different directions as it pertains to your business because that is your session. So, when you get me, then we're going to figure out how we're going to be able to, what this consultation will be about. We could talk about tax planning. We could talk about business taxes. We could talk about tax returns that maybe you had did before and you need some help with that. Like I say, it can go in so many different directions. It's all up to you. You got me for 30 minutes. So, like I say, for the 30-minute business tax or accounting consultation session, it's $45. And I'm also offering a 1 hour business tax or accounting consultation or consulting session for $75. So, like I say, even if you need me to, a lot of times, a lot of IBOs, they don't know how to do their record keeping or have their books to look or how how to even set up a spreadsheet, even though I have an electronic tax worksheet that a lot of my IBOs use or my clients, my business clients. I can help you get all of that set up and so that you could be ready for tax time. So I'm not sure, and I believe Paris, if the description, I'm going to give you a link to set up the consultation. So I guess we could put it in the description box below, or if you want to, you can actually just go on my website, which is www.ptaxandaccounting.com. Go into the contact page and then just send me a message that way, and we can go ahead and get you set up. And
So
then, mhm,
sorry. I did
that's
put
okay.
the ptaxandaccounting.com in the comment section so you guys can just click. If you send a message, make sure you tell her you watch this video because you get the discount with Arise to the top.
Absolutely. And then there's an awesome, well, there's a incentive that you get if you do the one-on-one consultations. I have a beautiful tax planner that you get. It's a complimentary tax planner for doing the one-on-one consultations, and it's for your business. And you can use it. They have a breakdown of the weekly, the monthly, and yearly planning. So I'm gonna try to give you a little snapshot of that before we come off of here, but you get that automatically with your one-on-one consultations. All right.
And
And
just one
then,
more,
mhm.
sorry, interjection with for you guys, and then I'm gonna go away. But if you have a few questions, then a 30-minute session will suffice for you, a question here or there. But if you want to specifically go over your tax information, you need to get stuff set up, those types of activities, you're gonna want to book the hour session, because what you don't want to do is to book the 30-minute and then have to pay another 30 minutes, which is going to
Mhm.
cost you more money than just doing a 1 hour session. So 1 or 2 questions, maybe 3, that can get answered within 30 minutes. 30 minutes flies by fast. Like, this was supposed to be 30 minutes and we're almost an hour in. So if you have in-depth questions for your business, just go ahead and hop on the hour sessions.
Absolutely. All right. And then here's my contact information. Um, again, my name is Pia Hill. My company is called PTax and Accounting. There's an 800 number here, which is 1-800-476-8690. But for you guys, I'm going to go ahead and provide you my cell phone number. Don't give it out to anyone, but it's 404-820-1253 if you need to send me a text message. But otherwise, and don't send me text messages after 7 p.m. because they will not be responded
Oh,
to.
girl, you're
We
brave.
do, yeah, no, we do have business hours, and my cell phone will let you know. The text message will respond and let you know that we are closed. But yeah, like I say, our website again is www.ptaxandaccounting.com. And then you can also email me directly at tax@ptaxandaccounting.com. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna come off of here real quick. And I just wanted to show you two things. So is the Form 1099 NEC. Like I was telling you guys before, this is from the IRS website. This is that copy A, that red copy. Remember, you cannot print these off and then send them off to IRS. There is not acceptable. So you're going to have to actually go on the IRS webpage. But that's the copy one for the state tax department, and then this is copy B for your recipient. And then at the very beginning of this page, here is the IRS website where you can order the form itself. And then here's that irs.gov fire thing. So all you could do, if you need to, just do a quick Google search for Form 1099 NEC and you'll see this. And last but not last thing is here is a glimpse of the tax planner that you guys would get if you go ahead and do the consultations. So it's really nice. It's very professional looking, and you know, you can use this for your business. You can also use it for, you know, your individuals. And it's good for budgeting. It actually helps you with, like I say, any type of planning. And then also at the very end, at the end about your social media, where we got notes and things like that, and even your social goals, if you want to put in your growth goals and things like that. So it's a very neat planner that you guys can have access. Okay. And
Well,
I'm going to
yes,
go ahead
yes.
and get back to Paris.
Yes, yes. Well, thank you guys for coming, Pia. Thank you. This has been very insightful as always. You guys, we actually will be having our Let's Talk IBO business sessions once a month. It's the third Wednesday of every month this year, where we will have different topics and you'll be talking to the experts in that field. Next month, we're actually doing marketing. So I will see you guys then. Thank you, Pia. Pia's information will be below this video. If you're watching via YouTube, make sure you like and subscribe if you'd like to see when we come on live to do more sessions. If you're watching via Facebook, like and subscribe to our YouTube still. If you want to see some more sessions, Pia's information will be on there. And like I said, she is running this special for a limited time. Make sure you let her know that you got her through Arise to the Top so you can get those great pricing. And
Absolutely.
don't forget to add her to your perks stuff with your agents. If you're not doing taxes yourself, you now have a dedicated tax specialist that can bring the expertise to you and your agents. So if you guys have any questions, you can ask on Facebook, as always, in our Facebook group. Thank you for coming out and watching, and I hope y'all have a wonderful evening. Thank you, Pia. I don't know why I'm the only
All
one.
right. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Yes.
Yeah. And like I say, don't forget, if you have a extra opportunity as an IBO, like I say, even if you decide that maybe you don't want to do the tax thing this year, get with me this year so we can get you prepared for next year. And like I say, it's a great opportunity to be able to bring in extra income, an extra stream of income, really. And then we have the referral service. Yeah, like really, you can really do very well, and I can provide you with everything you need. I mean, absolutely everything. So yeah.
Well, thank you, you
so
guys.
Thank you, Paris.
No problem. Have a great night, and I'll see you next time.
All right, have a good one.
The referral fee, you will actually, if you go to the PTaxandaccounting.com website, Pia has all of that information, either via website, and if it's not on the website, you can always send her a message through the website to get information on that affiliate program.
Absolutely.
All right. Y'all have a good night.
All right.